Hi, kindergarten. So I promised you a special guest that is going to teach us how to do our science safety. First is listen to instructions. Toothless, good boy. Good job. So he listened to instructions. This is my cat, Toothless. We're kind of working on training him. So let's see. Toothless, can you wait to touch the material? Wait. Is he listening to instructions? He paused. Good boy, he waited. Good boy, so he waited. Can he use the tools the right way? So I put little tiny science goggles on Toothless because that is a science tool that we use in order to help protect our eyeballs. And he's doing a great job. I also put a little lab coat on him because he's adorable with a little lab coat. And he looks really, really cute. And he's able to protect his fur. And sometimes we have to wear a lab coat to protect our clothes. Good boy. And he's making safe choices because he's not running around. He's practicing with his kitty treats and he's waiting. Wait. Okay, good boy. And he's listening to adults. Let's get those goggles up. There we go. Say, hi everybody. I hope you stay safe in the lab. Say bye to our special guest, Toothless. Bye, Toothless. Alrighty, guys. Now that our special guest has left, let's get into the meat of part 2. The last time you were with me, so the last session we had in part 1, you should have cut out a little scientist that looked like this, and you should have started your interactive notebook. Now remember, your notebook is allowed to be a folder, okay? But Miss Bender likes to use the composition books. If you want to use a composition book, that's fine too. So, we went over how the first page was yours. We went over the table of contents, and you should have only have an entry for 1. We know to leave 2 pages blank. And we should have a book that looks something like this, where this side is all yours, whether it's pictures, questions, whatever, it's your side, and this is the side I'm grading. So after this lesson today, I would like mom or dad to take a picture of this side and turn it into me, okay? Because this is part 2 video, so this is the second week that you've had this instruction, okay? Our special guest helped remind us about the safety rules. He listened for instructions, so he waited on his treat until I gave it to him. He didn't touch his treat until I told him it was okay, so he waited to touch materials until everyone is ready. He used his tools the right way. He came in with some safety goggles and a lab coat to protect himself. And he made good choices by staying with an adult and not climbing all over the table and knocking stuff over. And he did have an adult present. So our special guest, Toothless, did a wonderful job at showing us how to stay safe in the lab. Now, I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about some stuff that you guys may use. So a regular scientist may use some beakers. These are plastic, but when we get to go face to face again, you may see some glass ones. So it's really important that you hold them with 2 hands. And even though Miss Bender's experiments will be in beakers, because you're at home, you may use a cup that could be glass. So it's really important we hold our beakers and our cups and anything glass with 2 hands. Throughout this year, you're going to use tweezers so that you're able to pick items up that are really tiny. Now, just like Toothless demonstrated, you guys may need some goggles for some items. Now, Miss Bender found these goggles at Dollar Tree, so they don't have to be fancy and still protect you, okay? So we may need some goggles. Do not go out and buy goggles right now because the stuff I'm going to do with you is all home materials, so you will be okay. But I want you to be familiar with what they look like, okay, in case we get face to face again. And you guys may use a magnifying glass when we come back to the lab. Again, don't have mom and dad rush out to get one, because what I'm doing for you guys as e-learners should be stuff that you're able to find around the house, okay? So do not worry. I just want you to know what this tool is, and it's called a magnifying glass. So we have a magnifying glass. It helps make little things look big. We have some beakers. We have tweezers. And we have goggles, safety goggles. So those are all things that scientists use or wear in order to make good choices to stay safe. Another thing a scientist would do is not put anything in their mouth. So Miss Bender has this stuff, and I'm sure you know what it is. It's called slime. Now, I'm having a hard time opening it. There we go. Now, slime is not okay to put it in my mouth, is it? No. So whenever Miss Bender does stuff and asks you to do a lab, even if it's something that you can eat, like an apple or a banana, unless Miss Bender says on the video, you can now eat it. Do not eat it. Pretend it's like slime, and you can't put it in your mouth. And you can't put it near your face, okay? It may hurt you. So unless I say you can eat it, do not put it near your face. So this is too close. I can't do this. Now, what if it smells good and you want to smell it? There's a special way scientists know how to stay safe, and it's called wafting. And what they do is they take their hand and they pull the smell towards them. So they don't stick their nose right over it, because that might hurt their nose. But instead, what they do is they hold it a little bit away, because we don't want it near our face, and we waft it. I want you to practice wafting it. So take your hand and pretend to hold something and pull it towards you. You should feel the air hit your face. That's how you know you're doing it right. You should feel some air, and the air is what helps the smell come towards you. So that's called wafting, and we're gonna practice that. Now, let's pretend we're doing a lab together, you and I, and you accidentally spill this. You accidentally spill. Oh no, what can you do? Well, number one, tell an adult. Hey mom, I spilled something. Number two, if mom says it's okay, help clean it up, okay? Because we're big kindergartners now, and we can help clean up and help mom and dad, okay? So if mom and dad say it's okay, because we use a lot of water, you help clean up, and we clean up our mess, okay? Miss Bender has slime, so I'm just gonna pick it up and put it back in its bucket. It's kind of gross, but I'm gonna pick it up and put it back in my bucket, okay? But you may need to use a paper towel to help clean up. And Miss Bender actually has to use a Clorox wipe. Now, I don't want you touching Clorox wipes unless mom and dad say it's okay. But Miss Bender's an adult, so she's going to wipe up the table using a Clorox wipe, okay? But you ask mom and dad. But we're big boys and girls, and we're able to help mom and dad. So when I tell you this year to be safe, those are things I want you to think about, okay? Nothing going in my face, or in my mouth, I mean, or around my face. Now that I've touched a chemical, because Clorox are chemicals, I can't touch my face or anything else, so I have to go wash my hands, okay? Once I wash my hands, I can come back. So give me 1 second. Okay, was I out of line? Okay. Now, I've cleaned my hands off, and I'm back in frame. I was standing up, and I think my cameraman didn't get me. But I washed my hands, and now I'm back. And as a good scientist, we listened to directions. We waited to touch the materials. We've now know what some of the tools may be that we will be using this year, like tweezers and goggles and beakers. We know how to make good choices with those. We don't run, we use both hands, and we don't eat anything unless Miss Bender says it's okay, and we don't touch our face, we don't smell anything, we waft it. We know how to make those choices, like we know to sit still and not run. And finally, we know to ask an adult to come do those labs with us. Now, starting next week, because this is our part 2 video, remember you should have watched part 1 last time. Starting next week, we're going to get into a lesson, and it's talking about working with partners. Now, just like this video, we are going to be interacting, okay? And also, just like this video, it's gonna have 2 parts. The first week is going to be your interactive notebook, okay? And I wanna see the picture, but don't rush, okay? The second week is hopefully gonna be a hands-on lab, yay! And we may see a special appearance by our special guest, Doofless. He's even set up his own scientific notebook because a good scientist always writes down their thoughts and feelings in their scientific notebook. So he has his first page that's dedicated just to him, Super Kitty, because he's awesome and learning all his tricks really well. And he has his second page, which is the table of contents. He's going to answer, what is a scientist? He has his 2 pages are skipped because that table of contents can be a long way. And he has his, what is a scientist? He has his kitty scientist all done. He has his heading, which is, what is a scientist? He has his name, like I asked you guys to do, Toothless. And he has a number 1, so he knows what page number that is. Now, this side was his side, so let's see what he wrote. He said, I learned how to be safe and set up my journal. And you know what? Toothless wrote his name on this side, so he knows this is his page. And he wrote teacher on this side, so he knows this is my page to teach him. And he knows that this page is the page he's gonna ask to get turned in and graded. So if Toothless can do it, I know you can do it. And I look forward to seeing your scientist pictures. And I look forward to teaching you all year long. Bye, guys.